Bought for £80,000, renovation's about midway through now, it's about a 30k renovation. Clients are from Bristol, this project's in South Wales. We're going to show you around exactly how we're renovating it for them, totally hands-free and boarding their portfolio for them. Let's go. So on this project, you've got full brand new electrics, you've got new flooring in most places, you've got a brand new bathroom, partial in the kitchen, you've got a lot of works upstairs as well, including working on the boiler as well. So there's almost a full refurb on this to a point. We're going to show you the project, the actual mid-refurb spec of it, and also how this refers to the clients, and go from there. So the project is about 10 weeks into a 12-week renovation. We're coming to the final stages now. We've got a partial refurb in the kitchen, most of the bathroom, in fact the whole bathroom is completely brand new, but we can't show that because we've just leveled out the flooring, so we can't access the kitchen and bathroom area, so apologies for that. But as you can see, it's upstairs, you've got flooring, painting, plastering done, brand new electrics, boiler is going to be boxed in later on. Again, about 4 weeks away from completing the refurb now, so we're very happy with it. Brand new internal doors, windows already good, but we'll go from there. In fact, in 4 weeks' time, we should be able to actually rent this one out and get a cash room for the client, so really happy with that and very excited for them. So bedroom number one, as you can see, the flooring is now gone. You've had full painting throughout. You've got radiators you can't actually see down there. Windows, obviously, are actually absolutely fine as they are. The doors are in place as well. Obviously got new electrics as well. So there's a lot of work that's been done to this property. So electrics, you've got the flooring, you've got the painting throughout. You've obviously got the skirting, not the skirting, sorry, you've got the plastering for the ceiling. So you'll notice all the walls are very, very flat. And one of the biggest things for this property, as much as anything, obviously you've got value add. So the works we're doing in the kitchen, the works we're doing to the bathroom, replacing the whole bathroom, that's very good, that adds value, but it's also the EPC. So when we're doing all this, every radiator is going to have a TRV, a thermostatic radiator valve. We're putting new installation in the loft as well. Things like this are going to add the value, but also make it more rentable essentially, because you have to get an EPC rating essentially to actually rent out properties in about 2-3 years time. So whenever the client, like this client from Bristol for example, are doing these sort of properties, we make sure that we hit the C rating so that they don't have to worry about that in future. So once you get EPC C rating, I personally never expect the EPC to be more than the C, because B is hard to get and expensive, but we make sure all of our rentals are C ratings for this, for compliance. But in terms of general comments, again, you got the flooring, radiators, bedrooms are very, very simple. As long as you've got a window, sufficient space, electrics in here and a radiator, that's pretty much all you got. Nice internal doors as well. So that's basically that, but you'll see all the walls are very flat. So that's where the plasters come in, taking any wallpaper off, plastered it, painted it, nice flat flush wall. So you've also got a new banister here as well, which has been painted. So essentially that's for compliance as much as anything. So from a rentable perspective, you want to have a sufficient height on your banisters to make sure it's not too short, so that if there's tenants here that are like young, for example, they can't just fall over the banisters. So having a nice height on your banisters, we're obviously painting this as it currently is, but the height and the spindles in the middle have to be sufficiently tight to make sure it's rentable. So things like that, you've got to make sure you get it right. So for example, having hardwired smokes in your properties as well. So hardwired smokes, having your banisters high enough and spindles close enough, all these things help in terms of what we do. Again, we've got the flooring done, got the loft hatch for access, LED lighting as well. So these are actually the sort of rooms I actually highly recommend watching the pre-refurb videos on, meaning literally what you'll see before is a horrible carpet, you'll have the horrible doors, you'll have the horrible colours, the skirting and everything. The only real thing that's not changing is the skirting boards throughout. Didn't need to. Like in reality, they're just about good enough for the buy-to-let spec we need on the back end. They're more practical if you change the skirting boards, but they don't really add much value. So it's kind of like that's the difference with that. Obviously windows, already happy with that. They just need to clean essentially. You've already got good windowsills, it's all fresh. We will get this windowsill changed, but the radiator's all good as well. Again, you've got our TRVs on it. So these are TRVs where you can adjust the thermostats, the temperature as you need. But again, rooms are very, very simple. Got the electrics in, got the light switches and everything. LED lighting, which is energy efficient. But nice tidy little single room on the back end. And obviously this is bedroom number 2. So bedroom number 3, good sized room. We've got LED lighting in here, got the boiler. This, if you watched the pre-refurb video on this one, all this was kind of boxed. We've taken all that away. What we've now got is an open space. We're going to box in the boiler shortly as well. So essentially get this tested, to make sure it's gas safe, etc. from a lettings point of view. Box it in so that when it comes to finish, you'll just have this where you can open the door and it's all accessible that way. Obviously flooring's been bricked out, you've got your nice white walls, etc. It's all very flat again, plastered where needed, then painted, happy days. Then you've got the internal doors. So the internal doors are a good design, very happy with those as well. Windows are probably the happiest thing, the best thing I'm happy with, weird way to phrase it. The reason being is that windows are very, very expensive. So when we've got double glazed PVC windows, those are probably the best thing that we've currently got, because they're the most energy efficient. You're not gonna have to change them for like a long time, for probably about 2 decades or so. And they're very good quality in general. So they're a big cost saver, the fact that we haven't had to change them. And they're also quite a good design. So it tells me they were only recently installed within the past 5 years. So, and if you have kite marks on them, that means they're even better, because it just means they're actually certified. So really happy with that. Electrics as well. Again, double socket, 2 double sockets in every single room. Got a light switch over here for lighting. Bedrooms are very, very simple at the end of the day, guys. You got your sockets, you got your lighting, you got a flooring, etc. Nice, good open space. This will be boxed up on the back end. You got your radiator in here with a TRV on it. Very, very happy in general. So that's all good. One thing to note about with the client is they haven't had to be here. So they live in Bristol, which is probably about maybe an hour away from here. Maybe, let's say, just over an hour. I talk to them every single, well, not every week, probably every 2 weeks. But we don't ever have to meet, and all this is done by WhatsApp for them. So they have a WhatsApp group set up with me and the build team, and all the updates are done totally remotely. They just check in with it, send a message, say, hey, what's going on? How are things? The whole idea of this is so that when they obviously reached out to us, which again, watch the pre-refurb video for their story, which I'll put in the description to the video, how to watch the pre-refurb video. But essentially, you'll see the way that how they've reached out to us. They haven't had to do anything. They got the pot money there. They bought the house, and all the updates are done by WhatsApp, etc. And it just means they can do this totally remotely. Totally remotely. They check in with us every so often. The build team provides updates every single week, and you can see the gradual progression. Even this video I'll send to them just for context, but you can see how totally remote this is, and how they're building a portfolio through having to do everything totally hands off. In that sense, we do the work, we find the property for them at the discount, we do the refurb and value, etc. I would highly recommend watching the pre-refurb video for this, which I'll put a link for in the description to this video, because it shows the actual clients meeting us who are from Bristol. They're meeting us before the refurb even began, showing you their thoughts, their process, the reason for reaching out to us, because they've literally used our portfolio building service to build their portfolio. So really excited by this. So the figures for this particular project, just to recap the project in general, bought for £80,000, refurb expected to be at 28 originally, is actually about 30k now, which is very normal. This is why on our quotes we have contingency, just to factor in additional costs. We expect this one to be worth about 140 on the back end. So when they come to basically complete the renovation, we'll get a new valuation on the back end. We expect that hit to 140, which means on a 75% loan to value mortgage, pull most of the money back out and be able to go again. So this particular client, they reached out to us probably, I'd say about a year ago, and they had about 100k in the bank. They wanted to build a portfolio in South Wales, and we made a 5-year plan to say, basically, with the 100k starting pot, how far can I get you over the next 5 years to build a portfolio to basically reduce your working hours, have more financial freedom that way. And this is where this came from. So essentially, this is the first project with them. They, like I said, this is totally hands off for them, totally remote. They haven't had to do anything for this apart from obviously buy the house itself. But in terms of numbers, this project itself, like I said, bought for £80,000, refurb about 30, with stamp duty, legal fees, our fees and everything. It is around about, I think about 115 all in, give or take, could be wrong. So bear with me on the numbers. But generally, the return on investment for this one's around about 18%. So when you include money in to money out in terms of purchase, refurb and refinance and the rental income in the first year, the ROI each project is about 18%. So very healthy returns in that sense. And it means that they can keep recycling the capital, because it'll be our method where you buy, renovate and then refinance to pull the money back out. And the rental income that accumulates in the back end. This whole model is based upon literally people start with like 100k, 200k, 300k. We've got a few clients now who have about 500k who do the same model, just more aggressively. And it means you can scale a lot faster, because if you're doing a standard buy to let, you're probably going to make about 250 net per property. That's after mortgage, expenses, etc. at the end of the month when it's tenanted. If you were to do 2, 3, 5, 10 of these, that's going to compound naturally. So the more capital you have, the more it's going to compound. So if you're watching this and want to get involved in projects just like this, where you've got a reliable team to find the projects with the discount, with the equity in, and then build up that way, then you're best off reaching out. And I'll put a link in the description to the video on how to reach out. Go to our website, book a call that way. It's the easiest way to have a chat with us to find out exactly like what you're looking for. So for context on this particular client wants to build a portfolio to reduce their working hours. One's a teacher and the other one also has their own job in that sense. And I think it's really important to have a goal with property. Like, never get into property for the sake of doing it. Get into it because property is an investment vehicle. If you see it as an investment to get you from A to B, that's the whole point of doing this. It's you have this capital, you got this goal. How can you get there? The amount of capital you have dictates what doors you can open in terms of the exit, in terms of like what you can actually do if you want to do the BRR model, if you want to do buy to let, etc. But if you've got enough capital, reach out to us. Probably minimum, I'd say 100k. Reach out to us. Most of our clients have between 300 to 500k, so that's the kind of sweet spot. And if you have those sort of capital, reach out and we can literally plan year upon year how this is going to compound for you, and get multiple projects like this on the go. Because if you make about 250 per and you buy 6 per year, so 3 at the same time, 6 per year, you're going to compound your cash very, very quickly. So that's how this really works effectively. We do the work. I would say probably at least 90% of our clients are nowhere near South Wales. And in fact, about 40% of them are international. So we currently got America, Dubai, Netherlands, all sorts. So factor those bits in as well. Location, this is not location dependent, even though we just operate in South Wales because we know the area, location, we have the build team, solicitors. We've been doing this for 5 years and we know exactly how it all works. So if you want to get involved in projects like this, where you can see the refurbs and how it all structures together, let me know, book a call and check the description to the video and we'll go from there.